Hello, everyone. You guys have heard me speak a lot about my ebook that is coming out, Before I Became Her: How I Overcame Addiction, Single Motherhood, and I Chose Healing. Well, I don't feel like, I've talked enough about what's going to be inside of the book. And when you get the book, Before I Became Her, you're going to get insight into my lived experiences. And when I say my lived experiences, I mean my battle with addiction from the time I was 24 until I was 33 years old. Um, I have 14 years clean now. You are going to hear about me losing, the love of my life to addiction. You're going to hear about how I was homeless. Um, with 4 kids, pregnant with my fifth child, going through a divorce. You are going to hear about, oh my God, there's so much in the book. I don't even know. You're going to hear about the tragic loss of my younger brother. My brother, he's younger than me, I should say, but he's not my youngest. You're going to hear about the loss of my brother Daniel and how that impacted my life. You are going to hear about how I chose healing and how I am now a licensed real estate agent, and how I have basically went through all of these things in my life, and how I was able to overcome them and start healing, how I went through therapy, how I got married a second time, and my husband that I married was incarcerated in federal prison. There's so much in this book. It took a lot for me to write it, but I think I was at a place where I had been telling my story so much that people were always like, oh my God, you have such an amazing testimony. You should write a book. You should write a book. And I did not manifest this for myself. I tell people this all the time. Other people manifested this for me. People manifested me becoming a real estate agent before I even considered going into real estate. I remember people telling me, oh my God, when I was looking for a career change, you should be a real estate agent. And I used to be like, I grew up in public housing. I don't know the first thing about buying no house. I wasn't taught that. I don't know anything about real estate. Why would you think I should be a real estate agent? But other people saw something in me that I still was unable to see in myself, because I still didn't have any self-worth. I still didn't have self-love. I still didn't have belief in myself and who I was meant to be. I remember I was always asking God, like, what's my purpose? Like, I don't feel like my life has any meaning, you know? And I was lost for so long. And when I really, really started healing intentionally, when I went for my weight loss surgery, I was just at a place where I was like, if I'm just going to have surgery just to lose weight, that might make me look good on the outside, but how's it going to make me feel on the inside? Because inside, I was broken. Inside, I hated myself. I had no standards. I had no boundaries. I had no self-worth, no self-esteem, and I thought weight loss was going to fix that. And then I realized that it wasn't. So then I went into therapy. I started intentionally, seeking out ways that I could heal that brokenness inside of me and find my light again. And, you know, through meditation, I had quit smoking. So I was doing a lot of different things to heal some of my surface wounds. It wasn't until I probably would say earlier this year that I really started doing that deep inner work and started to really, really heal with intention and purpose. And that's how I got to start writing the Becoming Her, Before I Became Her, sorry. That's how I started writing Before I Became Her. And then through writing that, I also came into the Becoming Her movement, because that is my purpose. God has given me this story, this testimony, so I can share it with others and I can help others heal. And now I am building the blueprint for me to start a mentorship program for at-risk youth, because I really feel like that is important to young girls. I really wish I had mentorship from another successful woman, whether it be black, white, whatever the case is. I just really wish I had that when I was a young teenager, because I didn't have the true guidance that I needed. But I have it now, and I want to share with the world how healing has changed my life, because I became intentional with my healing. I found purpose in my healing. Granted, my life is going to be on full display. There's going to be so much that's going to come out in my book. There's people that know me from my past. People know me from my hometown. I ended up moving, away, and that's when my recovery started. When I got married and I moved to Pennsylvania, and I started over. But when I came here initially, yes, I was, becoming. I was in recovery, but I still was broken. I entered into a marriage that I had no business entering in, but I tell people that marriage saved my life. And do I have any regrets? No, because if I wouldn't have married the person that I married, I'm not going to say his name. Um, if I didn't marry the person that I married, I probably would have stayed in New Jersey and I wouldn't be here today. So I have to find the miracle in that decision. So again, I'm going to start talking a lot more in depth about my journey, the before I became her book, and different stories that transpired in my life. And I'm just hoping that this is just going to inspire someone to find their purpose, to start their healing, to rewrite their story. So this is where my story becomes your breakthrough. Stay tuned for more.